I was just leaving.
Yes, David, I think you'd better.
Uncle Mickey.
I was just leaving, Julie.
Look, Uncle Mickey, there's nothing wrong with David having kissed me. He wouldn't have done it if I didn't want him to or hadn't have let him.
Well, why are you taking the blame for this?
Well, blame for what? An innocent little kiss?
Let me tell you something, young lady, about innocent little kisses.
Oh, come on, Uncle Mickey, not from a man of the world like you.
Look, it's just because I have been around some that I'm able to tell you a few things, like what necking can lead to.
Any kiss that I might get from David will never lead to anything. Not anything, Uncle Mickey. Because I know David.
Well, I know him too, Julie. Remember that.
Well, you don't know the David that I know.
Julie, I'd like to talk to you.
I know what you're going to say.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm not going to say. Then I'm not going to deliver the lecture about the birds and the bees because I know you're beyond that.
Well, thanks for giving me credit for some maturity.
I give you credit for a lot more than that, Julie.
Then why are you worried about me going out with David?
Honey, because the boy has a bad reputation. You name it and he's done it.
Oh, I can't believe that.
No, you can't, because every now and then the boy puts on a nice little act for you to make you believe that he is the world's prize innocent. But he's not fooling me, Julie.
Not trying to fool anyone.
No? Do you think for 1 minute that I didn't know that that boy had a few drinks before he came over for dinner the other night?
Let me tell you something about that drink that David had.
No, let me tell you something about the drinks that David had, because it was more than one drink, Julie. It was more than one.
Well, maybe it was. But do you know why he had those drinks?
Sure, because he felt like it.
Oh, no. David never drinks unless he's scared.
Oh, who was he scared of?
Everyone around here. Well, he was so sure that everyone was just waiting to make a criticism against him that he just... Well, he had to have a couple of drinks so he could build up enough courage to come over and face Orton to fortify himself.
Well, he's lucky that your grandpa wasn't. To fortify himself? People who fortify themselves with alcohol wind up behind the 8 ball, Julie. You know that.
He doesn't do it all the time.
No, just when he needs a little bit of courage. Like people who drive need a little courage, so they take a few drinks, and that's going to be the next thing on David Martin's agenda.
Uncle Mickey, you always used to say that you had to get to the root of the problem to cure it. Well, if David's scared of the family, then shouldn't we all be a little extra nice to him? Isn't that right?
Julie, as a psychiatrist, you need to take a few more courses. Now, your pal, David, is scared of us because he knows that we love you. And we don't want you to get hurt by something that he may do.
Uncle Mickey, I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay, that's fair enough.
When you went out to get your own apartment, was Grandma happy about it?
I don't really remember.
Well, of course you do. I mean, that was a big move for you. And, well, I bet you had plenty of arguments about it.
Well, now that you mention it, there were some discussions, pro and con.
And Grandma didn't approve, did she?
Well, I don't think it was a question of approving or not approving. She felt that she would miss me, I think.
Yeah, but did she trust you? I mean, right off the bat?
Trust me about what?
About what might happen in that private little apartment of yours?
Now, wait just a cotton-picking minute, young lady. What do you think happens in that den of iniquity, anyway?
Well, Uncle Mickey, it isn't a question of what I think. It's what your parents thought at the time.
Well, they trusted me, I hope.
Well, that's just exactly it. They trusted you. Well, I don't even have my own little private apartment. No one seems to trust me.
Now, who says we don't trust you?
Oh, you don't really.
Dude, I never said that. I don't trust David Martin.
But if he's my friend and I like him, then you just have to have a little faith in my judgment, don't you?
Well...
You just have to trust me. If you really love me. Just like Grandma and Grandpa trusted you.
Julie, I have the feeling that we are talking about two entirely different things.
No, we're not, Uncle Mickey.
Well, if we're not, then I have the feeling that I have just lost this little argument.
It wasn't an argument, it was a discussion.
Yes, well, it was pretty tricky the way you managed to steer it away from David and right up onto my doorstep.
Uncle Mickey, I wasn't trying to be tricky. All I'm saying is that I'm a different girl from what I was a few months ago.
I know you are, Julie.
And I've learned a few lessons, too. And one thing I know is that there's all the good in the world in David. Well, maybe you don't see it, but I do. And you've got to have trust in me. So please, don't do anything to keep me from seeing him.